Earlier this year, I made a video talking about the dark side of owning a Kindle and how Amazon has a monopoly on the ebook market and how they protect all of their Kindle books with DRM, which means you don't actually own the book that you're buying. Yes, that's right. If you buy a book through Amazon, what you're actually doing is buying a license to read that book. Amazon is the one at the end of the day that actually owns the title and has full control over our ability to read it or not. Now, there are several ways to remove DRM from the Kindle books that you buy, but that could be illegal depending where you live and a bit controversial. So instead of showing you how to do that, I want to talk about some alternative ways you can buy ebooks without supporting Amazon in the process. Now, the first and arguably the best way to buy ebooks is directly from the author whenever possible. From what I'm seeing in recent years, there seems to be a movement of authors offering ebooks for sale directly through their personal website. So instead of buying the book through a marketplace like Amazon, you just go directly to the author's website and buy it directly from them. Now, the first time I saw this in action was through an author named Derek Sivers. For a while, the only place where you could buy some of his books was directly from his website. You were not able to buy certain titles anywhere else besides directly from him. I love this a lot because it really empowers authors to own their content, and I love the way Derek currently sells his books on his website. Yeah, if you want, you can buy it on Amazon, but if you buy the book from his website, you get a lot of cool things like discounts and access to multiple formats at a very low price. As another example, a bit more personal, I actually just recently started selling my own books for sale direct from my website. For a long time, I only offered them through Amazon, but recently I made EPUBs available directly on my website, and I was pleasantly surprised to see several people choose the EPUB file over the Amazon one. As an author, I think this is really cool because when people buy books on Amazon, the author doesn't actually see who those people are. All we see is a number on the screen, but on the personal website, I can actually see the customers and their names. I can see the people buying my books, and it's so much more personal. Now, as a side note, if you aren't familiar with my work outside of YouTube, I do have 5 books that I've written currently, and I'll leave a link down below for all of those books. My most recent one, called Just One More Chapter, is all about building a daily reading habit. So if that's something you're struggling with, I'd recommend starting with that. Moving right along, the next thing I want to show you are a few other marketplaces that are very similar to Amazon, but allow you to buy ebooks without supporting a giant company. Now, the first marketplace I want to show you is ebooks.com. This is a company that's been around for 25 years, and they're nowhere near as big as Amazon, obviously, but they have a very large selection of ebooks. My favorite thing about ebooks.com is their selection. It's sometimes really hard to find competitors to Amazon that have a large selection of books to choose from. Amazon tends to be the biggest seller of books, but ebooks.com, from my experience, does seem to have a very large selection. Usually I'm able to find any book that I want to read on this catalog. Now, the one downside to ebooks.com is all their books are still protected of DRM, but it's not the same type of DRM as Amazon. When you buy a Kindle book, the only place you can open that is on the Kindle or a Kindle app, so you're very locked down to the Amazon ecosystem. But with ebooks.com, you still download an EPUB file, you just have to unlock it with Adobe Editions, so there's a bit of extra flexibility with that. The next marketplace I want to show you is Smashwords. Now, full disclaimer, I've never used this website personally, but I did some research, and it seems like they have a pretty nice selection of books, also a bunch of free books as well, and all of these books are not protected with any kind of DRM. The books in the catalog here tend to be more indie books and smaller titles, but they do have a lot to choose from. If you're looking for something new to read, this might be a good place to start. The next place I want to show you is the ability to buy ebooks directly from the publisher. Now, not all publishers will support this, but a lot of smaller publishers that have a lot of books under their belt do offer ebooks without any kind of DRM for sale. Let me give you the perfect example. The place where I began learning about all of these anti-Amazon practices was through a book called How to Resist Amazon and Why. Now, this book is published by a small author named Danny Kane, and he published his book through a publisher called Microcosm Publishing, and they do offer books from their publishing catalog directly for sale on their website. You don't have to go anywhere else to buy them. You can buy them direct from the publisher. The reason why this is a good thing is because there's less people in the chain that take money out of the equation. For example, if you buy a book through Amazon, Amazon will first take their commission, then the publisher will take their commission, and then whatever is left at the end of the day might go to the author depending on their contract. When buying books directly to the publisher, there's actually more money going to the author, again, depending on their contract. Now, the best way to get ebooks without supporting Amazon while also saving you some money is actually through your local library. Surprisingly, a lot of public libraries have done a great job of staying up to date with book tech and offering ebooks ebooks as an option when borrowing books from their system. Now, depending where you live, the process of getting ebooks from your library will be a bit different, but here in America, the best way to do it is through an app called Libby. Now, the first step to using the Libby app is by first getting a library card by either walking into your local library and asking for one, or going to their website and seeing if you can get one online. Now, the cool thing about the Libby app is they support multiple library cards. So even if you do have one for your local library, you can also look online to see if any other libraries in the world will give you a library card, so you have a larger catalog to choose from when trying to borrow books. Now, borrowing Libby books on a Kindle is a whole topic in itself, and lucky for you, I have a whole video that talks about that. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.